We rolling? What it is, world, man. World's best host, yours truly, ET. Definitely checking into the Galaxy right now, man. And by my side, first of all, being from the West Coast, like I've always had to, you gotta respect your OGs. You know what I'm saying? And people that have paved the way in this game for a lot of different things. A lot of things happen behind the scenes, you guys, that you might not ever hear about until, like, down the line, in the years and the things that they've done for people, man. Jay Prince, how you doing, sir?
Oh man. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta.
It's a beautiful day in Atlanta. It really is.
For real. Glad to be here.
Let's talk about the book first, because I'm sure everyone has been talking about other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this memoir you got right here, what sparked it to come out now? Why are you putting this out now?
Well, I actually started on it in 2014.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so many events was taking place until I finished it up this year. And there's no better time than now.
Right.
Yeah, so I wanted to put it out because, you know what I mean, I tell everybody I started with nothing, and I figured out how to turn nothing into something. And I wanted to explain those things, my wins, my losses, everything that happened in between, you know what I mean, and share wisdom, knowledge, and understanding along the journey.
You have a conversation, I want to say it's from the 90s with Larry Hoover.
Yeah.
Why did you record that conversation back then? Did you know? I mean, what was why record that back then?
Well, when I visit Hoover, me and him had a whole lot of interesting conversations, and I wrote about it in my book. I didn't want to keep them to myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he and I was on the same page with uplifting and caring for our community. And after hearing so many of them things in private that he shared with me, I said, man, let's do an intro together. You know what I mean? In your own words, where you can speak your mind.
Yeah.
And against all the threats of, you can't release this and all them different things, they came at me real tough, man. They didn't want that intro out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you saw what I done.
All right. You've survived a lot, within this industry and behind the scenes. The rumor has it, of course, the new hype is about the whole Drake and Pusha T beef, and the rumor is that you've heard this it's not to be released, that could be ending people's careers.
Yeah. Well, let me correct that as far as hearing the diss. I heard the ingredients. You know what I mean? Meaning that I know what was going to be said, what was going to be put in it, and that was devastating.
Right.
You know what I mean? And me having a relationship with Kanyes, and Kanyes giving me a call, you know what I mean, let me know I'm a family man. I understood the detriment that this was going to have on him, as well as Pusha T, and it's just a tear down situation, tear one's livelihood down. Right.
And I know I can respect that, because if a man calls you and says, I'm a family man,
yeah,
that's and I say this now, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but
yeah,
he's basically saying, listen, bro, I know you got some dirt, please don't. He said, you know what I'm saying? He's basically saying, bro.
Yeah, I think
waving a white flag a little bit. You think a little bit?
I think it's deeper than that. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro.
I think it's deeper than that.
Give it to me now.
It was deeper than that with me. You know
okay.
what I mean? Before that was even said to me, you know what I mean? The fact of it crossing the line where music was concerned. You know what I mean? When I've been saying it over, but when a man, disrespect your mama, your daddy, you know what I mean, your dying friend, then you crossing the line. And when you cross those lines, then you know what happened. You know what I mean? You from the hood, when, we capping on each other, and you go there, you really saying, I want to get with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bring it on. And in the spirit of saying that and doing that kind of disrespect, then that's what breed, situations that happen with Big and Pop. You know what I mean? When you don't put water on those situations, when you don't deal with them ahead of time, then ultimately it's a funeral in the mix.
Have you ever thought about what is your guidance? You've been able to sustain different eras of an industry and be an intricate part of it somehow, some way. Do you know, or have you figured out your path? How does that work for you? Because a lot of people in this industry, they get an era, but you've been around multiple eras like that. I guess my question is, did you find your path? How did this work?
Yeah, in my book, it's a whole lot of directions and blueprints that I'm sharing with everybody. Longevity stuff, and this is what it come from. My perspective of things has always been a movement versus a moment, and that's the difference in longevity and short-term thinking. Some would call it big picture thinking. I've always been a big picture thinking person. Try to think 5-6 moves ahead of the game, and that has sustained my longevity in the game, and respect also, giving it as well as wanting in return.
Right.
All of these things wrapped around the art and science of different situations sustain you in whatever you may do.
Right. And I know we're talking about this book, man, the art and science, and but your stature in this industry. If you had to, and I know it's probably a weird question for you, but if you had to put yourself in a level, where would you put it at?
I'm just a man that want to be respected. You know what I mean? And I understand I have to give it in order to receive it. So, remember the whatnot, you know what I mean? Wrap me around respect. And when I was searching for the title of my book, I couldn't get away from it because it been instilled in me from day one.
Right.
So, that's what I try to share, you know what I mean? And people ask me, what does that mean? And you can wrap humility around that word, and you know what I mean? That would be the foundation of giving and getting,
right,
through humility.
You've always been a behind the scenes guy, but because you've been so an intricate part of so many different people's careers in some way, now you've at the forefront, especially with this book. I mean, people are sitting there, at the dinner. I wasn't able to be there because I was filming for a reality show.
Yeah.
But I've heard, the people that were there were high quality people. Yeah. People that other people would consider already successful, seeking knowledge from you. That's got to be, I don't know if it's humbling or if it's man, I still got what they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mutual thing. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys, they inspired me because every time, I witness someone making it, being successful, I'm inspired. So it's like a magnetic thing that go back and forth. And that's what respect is all about, you know what I mean? Versus grabbing the energy of jealousy and animosity towards one's success. We need to uplift. And all of that played a role in my decision making. You know what I mean? Where Kanyes, Drake, and the whole situation was concerned.
Just kind of nip it in the butt.
Yeah, it's a bigger picture. You know what I mean? I call it a pig pen, mentality. If you have to go there, you know what I mean? We can't wallow in slop.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing does, affect the other, definitely, man. But do you actually talk about how you got over some of those situations and things in this book? Because the reason is people are going to always have a struggle.
Yeah.
And face adversity, whatever that adversity is, on any level.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any in here, that you use, that you can say, yo, if you do this is how you get over certain situations like that?
Oh, man, I mean, plenty of it. You know what I mean? Plenty of it. I tell everybody, if I had a book like that when I started, I'd have made up extra 20, 30 million, you know what I mean, in the beginning, because in this book I detail, so many things where one can be in bondage, you know what I mean, about different things.
Mental.
Yeah, well, more than mental bondage. For example, one of the biggest decisions, I name it the biggest deal I ever made in the chapter. And the biggest deal I ever made was transitioning from the streets to corporate America. If I don't make that decision, then I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you. And as many of us, as strong brothers is in the penitentiary right now because they didn't transition at the right time. So, in details, I explain the importance of that and how to reach and grab energy for different things to do it for, because some people, don't know why they should do it or how to do it. And I was in that same bondage where I didn't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I reached and looked at my kids to grab energy. I'm gonna do it for y'all. I ain't got sense enough to do it for me. I'm gonna do it for y'all. So it's the surroundings and things like that you have to reach and say, okay, let me think bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing a small amount of the things that you've been through and the struggles that you've gone through, I know a very small amount of it. I couldn't been there for everything. Do you feel any added pressure that so many people in the industry, successful men, women, or whatever, are coming to you for answers and help? Is there any pressure on that?
No, I'm from a school to much given, much is expected. So I feel it's my duty to share wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because that's who I was before I made it to these different levels. Anybody that know me, my ghetto boy intros, I was trying to get brothers, you know what I mean? I felt like at the time the music game was the new dope game, you know what I mean? So
right.
I'm on the intro. This is how Master P and Cash Money and Tony Draper and all of these guys, this is what I was feeding them. You know what I mean? That made them cross over. That made them want to taste this music money. Right. You know what I mean? So I've been doing, as I listened to T.I. and Killer Mike last night, people that I didn't even know, I was inspired. It's still inspiring to know they was listening. Right. Yeah.
Now that you've gotten to this point, man, and you were able to basically keep something that was bad from getting even worse, this book, what is after this? I'm quite sure a movie is definitely coming. I say that actually knowing the answer, but I just want to hear you say it, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely documentaries, movies. I'm having a few discussions with
J. Prince Live.
Yeah, I don't know which way it's gonna go. I'm gonna put it on the scale and whatever feels good.
Right.
Yeah.
And people can pick this book up every.
Building buzz. All his life I had been training him because we heard marketing meeting after marketing meeting how I was getting on the staff about find me some talent that's buzzing. So he hit me with he buzzing.
Right.
And it was over.
Yeah, it is.
I jumped in the car with him.
You guys keep it locked right here, man. J. Prince is in the building. The name of the book is The Art and Science of Respect, man. And of course, you guys can, it's on the audio, and you guys can pick it up pretty much everywhere, right?
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Tidal, iTunes, it's there.
There it is. One last thing, bro. It's your boy J. Prince. I'm locked in the Galaxy with E.T. Cali.
It's your boy J. Prince. I'm locked in the Galaxy with E.T. Cali.
There it is, homie. I appreciate you, OG. Thank you so much, brother. You guys keep it locked right here, man.